in marketing downtown, one of the things that we realize, if we are not selling downtown story, we're missing an opportunity really to communicate to this region the positive momentum downtown. When we look at the JKL corridor, the changes that we've seen, this is really a chance for us, looking at our entire district, through Old Sacramento, through JKL, through the eastern end, to really champion and communicate a much different downtown that has evolved over the past 10 years. And I think it really does give people an opportunity not just to come down on evenings, but really to make a destination of it on weekends and spend some real time down here. And so with our efforts with social media, with our earned media, with our outreach, we are very committed to selling downtown story, and Lisa Martinez and her staff do a tremendous job of doing that. We continue to produce special events. I will tell you, and my board chair, who you're going to hear from in a little bit, Roger Kittredge, many years ago, so do we do special events to make money, or do we do special events to bring people downtown? And I think it's a little bit of both. Those of you that are in the special events business know that it can be a nerve-wracking experience. Events are unpredictable, but they do bring down a tremendous visibility to this community. And our concert series, our downtown ice rink that this year had almost 30,000 skaters come downtown, which is an all-time high, really shows you do a quality event. People are very willing to come downtown. The farmers market, and currently right now we've got Dine Downtown taking place, and I'm really hoping all of you at least are going out at least once, because we're hearing from the restaurants that this opportunity with Dine Downtown has added almost a week's worth to some of them of business, and last year had about $1.5 million new dollars in 10 days that we have. And so to the restaurateurs and to the businesses, I think it's a great time that traditionally is a slower time of year to drive that traffic. We wanted to spend a minute, and I think Senator Steinberg is going to say a few things as well about redevelopment, but I think, we've all heard some of the recent decisions that impact the future of redevelopment and what takes place. I think there's probably been no other urban center in this region that not only has partnered, but truly taken advantage and had some incredible projects come out of redevelopment in the downtown core. I do want to say specifically, Leslie Fritchie and her staff have made a difference, and without the efforts of that staff and that department, I think downtown would not be in good a shape as it is. And so Leslie, you and your staff do an incredible job. We are going to be working with the mayor and council, and I know some of our state partners to communicate where we go with redevelopment, what impacts to existing projects, but we're not done yet. And if there's maybe a statement that I would make is that, in challenging times like this, if in fact we lose the ability fully with redevelopment, we need to be creative. We need to be creative as a community to come up with ways that we can push these projects forward. Now is not a time for us to sit back and wait. Now is not a time for us to assume that things will turn around on their own. If we're not pushing forward and driving this initiative, we are going to get left behind. And in a down market, we should be leading that market downtown, and we expect to do so. One of the last things, kind of capitalizing on ways to identify new resources, is we put in place this past year a downtown partnership, a foundation, and a foundation that's going to let us take advantage of not just new resources, but take advantage of opportunities to enhance streetscape programs, our clean and safe efforts, partner on some public arts programs, but things that we can raise some additional funds, because the reality, I think everybody knows, is the history of relying on our public sector partners to truly lead the way financially is just not going to happen. People are going to have to make do with less, and we're going to have to find creative ways to raise additional resources. And so we're going to be using this foundation as a way to drive additional revenue and new opportunities, and I think it can really help lead us out of the way. In closing, in my comments, it's been an interesting 15 years, and I will tell you that one of the things that in this job, it does not get boring. I have conversations with my wife, Christine, on a regular basis. Are you still liking this job? And, I think when I'm out at my 4th night meeting a week doing this, and she's questioning that, I really am working. But it's, it's something new. I think this organization has evolved. I think that when you look at how we're going to get through some of this cycle, I think many times it's organizations like this that bring public-private dollars to the table that really can be a true partner with the business community. And we're going to continue to do that. I could not be happier to be here. I think the staff is incredibly dedicated, not just our senior staff, but I do want to acknowledge Danielle Biller, who's the Deputy Director of the Partnership, that does an incredible job. I think many people think she does really mostly what I do better, but she deserves a lot of credit for what this organization has done and has been a true partner, and I would not do it without her. So. A couple of last things. I do want to welcome a couple of people. Jackie Whitlam is going to be the new director for CADA, and please join me, and I know he's here somewhere, in thanking retiree, and I think he retired at the end of the year, Paul Schmidt, who ran CADA in an incredibly way. And to our existing partners with River District, Patty Klein Connect, Chris McSwain, Old Sacramento, look forward to this year, and do welcome Liz Studebaker, the new Executive Director of the Midtown Business Association. Okay, now my real pleasure to introduce a friend and somebody that I've worked with for a long time, Senator Darrell Steinberg. He's been a longtime advocate for Sacramento, both locally and in the legislature. I think I started during his last year on the City Council at the Downtown Partnership, where he was there from '92 to '98. Served in the State Assembly from 1998 to 2004, and elected to the Senate in 2006. He was selected Senate Pro Tem in 2008 and continues to hold that role today. Please welcome our friend Darrell Steinberg.
Thank you very much, Michael. What a great turnout. This start of the work week. This is very exciting, and I know I'm excited to hear Larry Baer. And as I was sitting there listening, of course, intently to the previous speakers and Michael, I was looking at my phone. And I noticed that the screensaver on my telephone, it was October 2010. It was Game 5 of the National League Championship Series between the Giants and the Philadelphia Phillies. It was the bottom of the 9th, and the score was tied 5-5, and Juan Uribe hit a sacrifice fly that brought home Aubrey Huff for the game-winning run. And while everyone's cheering and screaming, I turned to the guy sitting in the row behind me. I said, "Would you mind snapping a picture of my son and I?" And he did, and here it is. And I haven't taken it off my screensaver since October 2010. That, to me, for me, and I think for many people, is what represents the excitement of sports, of entertainment, of culture, and why, in part, there's so many other reasons, of course, why, in part, we have to be committed to seeing through the vision and building the downtown sports and entertainment complex in downtown Sacramento. At the State House, we are trying to do our part to eliminate the roadblocks and the impediments. Last year, we passed AB 900, which keeps the CEQA law, the very important CEQA law, intact, but says that for large projects, let's cut 2.5 to 3 years off of the litigation process by allowing any lawsuit to be heard directly in the appellate court. Our project here in Sacramento may, in fact, be eligible. And if it helps Sacramento, It helps other parts of this state put people back to work and help recreate the economic engine in the right way without, again, undermining any part of our environmental law. Let's do it, and let's do it aggressively. Finally, in my last moment or two, I want to put to rest a disturbing rumor. And that disturbing rumor that is out and about since the Supreme Court's decision on redevelopment several weeks ago is that local economic development is dead, and that the state is backing off its role and its obligation to help local communities create a high-wage jobs base, alleviate blight, and do all we can to improve urban centers throughout California. I'm not going to take too much time to talk about the history of redevelopment and why we got to the place we're here today. Suffice it to say that the court said we can eliminate redevelopment. Our effort was to recreate it, all as part of dealing with the budget deficit, but the court said it can't be recreated. It's a blow. It's a loss. But it's not the end. And briefly, here's why it is not the end. It turns out that with the disillusion of redevelopment in this state and throughout our communities, the state of California and local communities can work together. If we do nothing, all of the physical assets of redevelopment, the buildings, the parking lots, the leases, estimated to be in the billions of dollars statewide, will devolve back to school districts, to counties, to cities in the state. This isn't money any of us anticipated, because when we passed the law last year to recreate redevelopment, we believe those assets would stay with the redevelopment agencies. There's no more redevelopment. We have the ability to work together to appropriate those billions of dollars, potentially, and to distribute those dollars back to local government for economic development. And here is the great opportunity. Here is the great opportunity to create a new, healthier, better relationship between state and local government, to fix some of the underlying fiscal dysfunction that exists when it comes to the way we finance state and local government, to promote affordable housing and moderately priced housing, as Michal Ault said a moment ago, to enhance smart growth in SB 375, the effort to say we must grow, but we need to grow in more sustainable ways. This defeat could be one of the healthiest things that has ever happened if we are committed to recreating not only a better economic development tool for local government, but healing the fissures between state and local government. No one is the enemy here. The state is not the enemy. I tell Kevin Johnson all the time, our constituents are the same. They care about redevelopment. They care about local police and fire services. You're darn right, they care about the downtown arena. Those same people are sending their kids to the public schools and attending the community colleges and driving the state highways. We can't be divided, especially in difficult fiscal times. We have to come together, work together, and make this community and all communities in California, enable them to live up to their great potential, and it starts here. Thank you very much. Great to be with you.